Hi, my name's Kurt Norbury and today I'm going to be talking about Stealth Gear's Wide Pro filter system. Now I've been asked by Stealth Gear to have a look at their filter system. Now they do a standard one, which is the coking style, which is a smaller one, usually plastic, it's cheaper. It's a lot easier for it to get to, but you know, when you're using professional lenses, full frame, wide angles, you need a larger filter system, which is primarily around 100mm size. And so when Stealth Gear came out with this one, I was very intrigued. You know, I've worked with them for the last few years, and when I saw that they had one of these, I was very impressed, and I really wanted to have a go at it. And a couple months ago, they've sent me one to give a full review on. So this is it. It's made out of like a plastic material. It's very light. You know, there's not much weight to it. It's a spring-loaded catch on it, and you've got all the slots in it as well. I've got 2 in it now, but you can have 3 altogether. I've taken it off and just left it as 2. I never usually use more than 2 filters at a time. You know, it's usually an ND and a grad, and that's pretty much it for me. So this is it. It looks really good, well made, great design, and with that they sent me some filters as well, which are just here. So it's these ones here, and I'll talk about those in a minute. This is made for the professional use. You know, this is what you'd use high quality filters with. You know, Stealth Gear have a large range. They could have a few more filters, but what they've got is some really high quality ones which are working really well. Like I said earlier, this is based on a 100mm filter system, which is the same as Lee, Koken, High-Tech, Stingray. You know, they all have the 100mm filter system. So if you do have other filters, they will work in this system. So that's always something to keep in mind. Now, to attach it, you use the adapters, obviously. Now, they come in all different sizes, from in the 40s all the way up to like 80, 90mm. Now, on here, I've got my 5D Mark III and the 16-35, which is known for, I've always read the reviews with Lee filters that when you put their filter holder on, you sometimes get vignetting. And then they brought out their slim 82mm. Now, when Stealth Gear have their 82mm for this system, and I have no vignetting in it, so it was one of my first worries when I got the 82mm for my lens, that I was going to get vignetting, but luckily there is no vignetting. So I'm just going to show you how you put this together. So all you do is, it's got like a retaining sort of slot inside here, which it clips onto, and inside here is the thread. So all you do, just line it up and screw it on like so until it's tight. Don't do it too tight. Sometimes if you're in cold weather and they sometimes seize up a bit and they can be quite hard to get off. So that's on just like that. And then with the filter, this little lever thing here, you just see, if you can see, that goes in. So all you want to do is just push it on and then let it go, and that's it in, you know, really sturdy. And when it's on like that, you can adjust it. You know, you can move it around so you can get the composition that you want to, because you never want the filter straight. Sometimes you're on an angle and you're just wanting to darken a little bit of the sky or the foreground, so it's great to have that on it like that. So that's the system, and so far it's working quite well for me. So the next thing is obviously the filters. They have quite a lot of them, lots of ND ones, a couple grads, and what they do is they sell them as in packs, so you can get like 3. This is, I think, their landscape kit, plus another one which I'll go into in a minute. There's the Sunset grad, which I personally don't use. You know, with Lightroom, I don't need that. The other one is the Polarizer. This is a square polarizer, but on its own you can move it around inside the filter just like you would with a normal polarizer, and it does the exact same effect. And then I've got the gradual grey, which is basically a 0.6 neutral density graduated filter, which is really good. The one thing I wish they would do is a 0.9. They don't have one yet. I'm hoping it's something they bring out in the future, because really with landscape photography, the 0.9 neutral density graduated filter is probably one of the most popular. It is for me anyway. So I'm going to show you how it goes in and how easy they slot in. They come in these really nice high quality cases as well. I love these. When I came through the door, it was the first time I've seen these sort of cases for them, and they're really good quality, and they've got a logo embossed in them, and they automatically put labels on them so you know which ones they are. So that's really nice, and it's lovely fabric inside, you know, to go in that extra mile to protect your filters. So this is it here. This is it, and they've also added some text to the bottom of it. These are not glass, it's like a plastic, like kind of like perspex sort of thing. I don't see any colour cast in these ones, so that's a good thing, because that's the first thing people ask me, is there a colour cast? Trying to do this without looking the right way is difficult. So you just slot it in, you know, there's this like bend in them and there, so it holds them in, so you can really feel that they're stiff in there. So instead of pulling on this, I usually put my thumbs there and just push it that way, and the same when I'm going down. It just makes it easier. So that's how you've got that. And once that's in, you can move it, compose, get the shot you want, no problem at all. Let's see. So you can put more than one in. Like I said, you can put 3 in. Very easy to do as well. You just unscrew the little knobs on the back, and then you can pull these out and then put them back. You can have 1 if you want. So with I'll show you, I'll put another one in. So this is the Polarizer. This is a glass one, which is pretty cool. You know, good high quality glass. So that just slots in there like that. Bit stiff. There we go. And that's it. That's basically it. It's a sort of setup that I'll use out in the field. Most of the time you're only using like 1 filter, but that's pretty much how it is. So they come in different. You get different adapters. I've got 3, a 77 from the 7200, the 82mm, which I think they made specifically for the 16 to 35mm, and the 52mm, which is I just use for my cheap 50mm lens. You know, I use this a lot more than you'd think, so that's a good one to have as well. One other filter that they've brought out, and I think it was quite recent that they brought it out, that they announced it, was this one here. This is the 10 stop stealth gear filter. Now this is another glass one, high quality, you know. And you pick it up, you can instantly know that's glass. Great thing about this one, there's no colour cast on it. I think, well, there was one time it looked like it had a colour cast. It was more on the temperature, it was more to this like warmer brown colour, and when I put it in Lightroom I just dialed the temperature down a bit and it just went back to normal. If you go onto my Facebook page and 500px and website and that, there's a few new shots I've put on which you can tell have been done with really long exposure, and they were used with this. So again, and that just slots in there. Just like that. That's in like that. I have had a couple times where light has leaked into the, it's usually where it leaks into the back, and you end up, it looks like flare and light leaks on your images. It's only happened twice out of about 20-30 shots. So sometimes it's a lot frustrating it happens. Sometimes I think it depends on which you angle to the sun. But if they can bring out some little foam pads or something just to block off that would be brilliant. With the 10-stop filter, you have to be in complete manual. The exposure, focus, everything has to be in manual mode. It's a lot easier than it sounds. Basically what I do is I take the filter out, compose my image just as normal, and with the filter holder on as well. And then I get a base reading on my exposure. So if it's a f11 and it's 1 second exposure, and what I'll do is, that works out, I think it's about 30 minutes, that exposure is usually quite long. There's an app I use on my iPhone called Long Time, all one word, and that's basically a calculator for exposure times. It's brilliant for doing it. It's just a great estimate to how long your exposure should be. So I use that. Basically I get my exposure, I have a look at what it says, and then I go onto the app, see how long it says, and then dial that in manual mode. Most of the time it's over past 30 seconds, so that's when you get your intervalometer, your shutter remote, whichever, get it inside the camera, and as soon as I click it, I have my iPhone in my other hand with a little stopwatch on it, and then just time it for that amount of time and switch it off, and that's pretty much it. So that's a good little tip on how to use these filters properly. One thing I'd love to see that Stealth Gear do with this filter system is a real circular polarizer filter, one that that drops into there and you can turn it without actually having to turn the filter holder. For that to work, you'd need one. You'd probably have to change the design a bit, and usually something to hold the filter in place without it slipping through. So like some pins or something, so you can turn it without that. That's the only real disadvantage I'm seeing of this system. That, you know, I know I've got the square one, but for that to work, I have to turn the actual filter holder like that. And if for the shot I need a gradual neutral density filter, then it's going to make my composition weird, and it would mean I can only use a polarizer and nothing else except an ND filter. That's something I think they should develop into the future, something that can develop a circular polarizer that can fit into this holder. In conclusion, I've really enjoyed this filter system. You know, it's cheaper than your other brands, and it's just as good. You know, high quality. I can tell it's going to last a long time. It's very hard wearing, and the filters are good high quality as well. You know, they've put some effort into getting some high quality filters for this system, and I don't think Stealth Gear are a company that are going to disappear any day soon. You know, they are really trying to break into the photography world with high quality equipment that, you know, a lot of people should be using. This is something that I can't live without. I need it in my bag. If you've enjoyed this review, make sure to have a look at my other ones on my YouTube channel, and thank you for watching.